Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy, Dirty D.
It's your boy, Tech Daddy. And there's Ben. Yeah, still no nickname for Ben. It's fine. Mm-hmm. It's fine. We're just going to go with it. We're just going to roll with it. It's fine.
It'll create itself one day. I'm sure of that.
I feel like if anything, like somebody that listens to us is going to just like come out with one day.
That's what I mean. It'll manifest.
It'll just happen itself.
We put it out there to the universe.
Yeah, I mean, like the Tech Daddy thing came from a meme, so that happened.
Yeah,
which Jess still refuses to call me, by the way, so that's pretty funny.
We'll get her.
I feel like I remember that, Jess.
She said it once when I helped her with a computer, but it's fine. It's fine. She'll come around. They come around eventually.
Yeah.
They all do.
We'll get them.
Yep.
We'll get you.
What's going on, everybody? We're Acquired Taste Podcast. We are a history podcast. We talk about some mystery. We talk about some music eventually. We pretty much stick to history topics. This is a history episode today, though, for sure. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for giving us to listen to. If you like us, give us a follow on social medias and on your favorite listening service so you don't miss any new episodes. If you're new, we do about 15 minutes of some banter to get us going, break the ice, and get us in the mood, if you will, for the podcast. So if you really want to get into topics, go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. You can get to the meat and potatoes of it. But this is the appetizer, so you're welcome to that too. If you are a returning listener, thanks for coming back. We appreciate you. We hope that you're having a good day. Make sure you drink some water. Pet your pets for us today. If you have a pet, give them some extra snuggles. Let them know that they are loved. If you don't have pets, get one. Or don't. It's up to you. Anywho, hope you're having a good day, though. Appreciate you coming back. And as per usual, you get your forehead kisses. There you go. From Deej.
Solo.
Oh, God. Oh, that was aggressive. That was.
I thought about doing it right when it...
You fucking wish.
That was aggressive as hell.
Is this muted?
Yeah, I can't hear him.
I don't feel like I hear me this time.
There it is.
They were trying to silence me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had the order wrong again. I thought it was. I need to reorganize these mics. That's my bad. I need to stop being lazy.
Canadian conspiracy after last episode has bled over to the French.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this episode is the French. I mean, as much shit as we talk about the French in general on this podcast, that's not surprising to me at all.
No,
not at all.
When you were saying like we're a history mystery, blah 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 podcast and everything, I just kind of wanted to interject in there, like a lot of French.
Recently, I don't know who brought up last episode, but about the French Canadians and how much we just hate them.
It was
everybody hates them.
A lot of Ben. It was definitely a lot of Ben.
Well, it was the Canadians, and then Aaron started in with the French Canadians, and I concurred.
Yeah, you were specific on that. I do remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least with the French, I can give them respect on certain things that they've done in history. But French Canada's done jack shit. They're just up there in Montreal, wee-weeing and honing for nothing.
Yeah. Syrup sucking, leaf humping sons of bitches. Anyway, before I go down that road again.
Yeah, well, if you want to hear what we're talking about, go to the last episode. We had a bit of a row. Good stuff. But we use our episodes off with a question, and usually Deej has the question. So what's going on, man?
I do. Ben, what's so fucking off-putting about me? All right? I need to fucking know that.
This is due to a comment made off the air. And for that, fortunately, I'm prepared. Let me just switch to my other tab.
Oh, do you have notes on that?
I do.
Oh, my God.
Somehow not surprised by any of this. I am somehow not surprised by this revelation.
What I was saying was the reason you make my skin crawl so much.
That's what
sometimes
it was.
Looking at portions of you.
Okay.
Is like looking at the top of your head. Any point now after you got tattooed gives me this instinctual need to itch.
Ooh. Is it the tattoo?
Oh, 100% the tattoo because it wasn't there before the tattoo.
Okay.
And it just gives me that.
Gets you a little something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you what though, it did not hurt like nearly as bad as it looks on the top of my head.
I imagine the top of the head would be a very, very awful.
You would think it was terrible. Now closer up front towards this portion
temple
was fucking terrible. The back right here, dude, like when that needle first hit, I started laughing of like just pure joy.
Yeah, that wasn't as horrible as you expected it to be.
I had mentally prepared myself to die.
I
that
get
makes
that.
sense.
I would expect the front of the head to be or I'm sorry, not the worst, the least.
All this shit around has been like god awful.
Yeah. No, I mean like where
Yeah.
you would headbutt somebody like that.
Oh.
The part that's made for pain.
No, this
like
sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks. All this shit right here.
Or I guess not even for pain, but for frontal collision.
If I could somehow figure out how to clock somebody with this part, that would probably be nice.
That's how you get a concussion.
Yeah, I might cave my fucking skull in. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The skull is various impact points of you know, thickness.
Yeah.
So yeah, certain parts of the skull are meant for impact.
Yeah. See, I don't know that feeling because I don't get to see most of my tattoos.
Sure.
It is
You know what I
a
mean?
questionable investment when you put it that way.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could have this talk.
There's a lot of them I get, and it's like I will never actually see this in person. Like the top of my head, like technically, my eyes are never gonna lay eyes on it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, not without your
Yeah.
phone or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about like my leg being tattooed. Like I wear sweats consistently, so I forget consistently I have a tattoo down there.
Yeah, it's like,
Like or my like tattoo up on like the higher up on my arm because I wear shirts. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's a tattoo up there.
yeah, it's like it's not even. Yeah, you don't even fucking think about it. Yeah, so I get that though. Like if you were seeing it and you just weren't used to seeing that,
Yeah, well, I'm a blank canvas.
and especially like
Oh yeah, because you don't have any
Yeah,
tattoos.
I don't have
right?
any tattoos. So that's the
Yeah.
other part of the I
and
got
then
a
you
itch.
see, you see like the hair growing through it. And it's probably like makes it even worse.
I wouldn't say worse.
Good.
I don't want to bully you.
I
that
will
much.
say like
I'm
the,
glad
the-
it off puts you.
you know like, it is actually kind of funny though because it does itch when the hair starts regrowing. Like when you have a
Oh,
fresh tattoo
I bet
and
it
the hair starts coming out for the first time.
Dude, the head was crazy because the hair just grows back so quick.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so much of it, and it's like pushing the scab. You know, and like it healed fairly quick. It's like 2 weeks, and
Sure.
most of it was like ready. You know,
Yeah.
already scabbed off.
Well, I mean that part of your body ain't moving.
That and
You know?
honestly, it's I think just because of the hair growing so fast, it's like constantly the skin that's dying and regrowing and dying, regrowing.
Right.
So it's like just real fast. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not like your hand where it's flexing all the time.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
your
Yeah.
or portions of your arm or stuff
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
certain
It's-
places take longer to heal. So
Yeah.
like with the tattoo that's on my wrist, like it's a small tattoo. It took like maybe 30 minutes maybe to do it. But it took like 2 or 3 weeks to heal because that part of my wrist moved so damn much.
Absolutely.
It just didn't have a chance to. I mean, it healed fine, thankfully, but like
Yeah, because you're
it took
constantly
forever.
like breaking
Yeah,
that scab.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly,
you
it's
literally
constantly
you have
moving.
creases for a reason.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, out of all the tattoos I have, and there's no number. I that's the one question I get like when people ask me. I'm
sure.
I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude.
I never even thought to ask.
never. Like what? I don't know. They're like, I have 12 tattoos. I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't.
I get the same shit about beards. I get it.
I have this side.
So
and I have
annoying.
This side, like I don't. But the only spot is on my wrist right here. This eyeball, just because of the spot it's in, and like my work gloves. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like the only
Yeah,
spot
I
that
can see
ever
that.
got a little bit damaged or infected. Yeah,
Wasn't that the one that we got?
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. It was a Friday the 13th tattoo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got that almost the same spot. Because I think mine's right below that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good times. So you're gonna get tattooed, Ben? Is this not your jam?
No, dude, I would never be happy. I would never be happy. It could have always been better or a better
Oh.
spot or a better design.
sure.
Or
It's kind of the beauty about tattoos, though. I think.
I think it's how you're wired.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not for everybody.
Yeah, like how you
Yeah, because
Yeah.
tattoos.
how
are,
you feel about permanence is
tattoos
Yeah.
are originally meant for sailors and criminals. They're meant for the not norm.
yeah. Well, I mean, well, depending on how far back you go.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, you can
at
take
least
it all-
American traditional.
Okay,
tattoos,
fair. Yeah. I would say because you can get into the tribal sense of stuff and everything as well. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
You know, I'm so glad that I waited until I was a little bit older to get tattoos. Like I when I first started getting tattoos, I'm like, okay, I wanted this to make sense, but have some meaning to it, blah blah blah, the usual bullshit. And I'm glad I waited until I was in my late 20s versus my early, because there was that whole fucking era of travel tattoos, and everybody had them, and that missed me.
I got news for you that still do.
Again, the permanence part of it, the permanence part is
But,
what'll get you.
Funny enough. And I'm only cheap when I want to be. you know, but I remember when I was around 18 and I was thinking about getting one, not knowing what I wanted, but thinking about it. And I asked my good friend Chris at the time, I said, well, how much did that cost you? And it was something like, beginning to end, not in one sitting, but beginning to end, it was like $3,000.
Sure.
That he spent on this thing. I went, how much? That talked me out of it right there.
I get that.
Yeah.
It always makes me laugh when people are like, oh man, like I got, like I know this artist is down the street. He'll do it for, blah, 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 like money. And I love like having tattoo artist friends because like our friends will tell us all the time, like, oh yeah, this dude came in, asked for this, went down the street, got it for, half price, whatever the fuck, then came back to me to fix it.
Yeah.
Or why am I forgetting the term? A cover up.
Oh,
cover up,
yeah.
Yeah, they'll like do a cover up on it. Like, last time I saw Chaz, he was telling me a story about that. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Could have gotten it right the first time. But like, I don't mind paying higher amount of money for my tattoos because, well, one, they're permanent.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's
Actually, that's really it.
no, I mean and that's the thing is like for me that it's an interesting duality because for you it's the investment side, and for me I like that's way too much money for something that I don't know if I'll be happy with. Or,
Yeah, I get that.
Or a week from now, whether or not I'll be happy with my decision. So I'd rather just pass on all of it. And also, for me personally, that's $3,000 of non-functionality. I have way too many clickety clacks at home that cost the same amount of money that are very functional.
I never even thought about how much my skin costs.
Yeah, that's where my joy comes from. Well, some of it.
I know yours is a ridiculous number.
Yeah, who knows, dude? Yeah.
Like,
I'd like to donate it. That'd be cool.
make a lamp. That'd be fun.
Dahmer did that, didn't he? Well, not made the lamp, but who was the one that ate people and said the ones with tattoos tasted funny?
That was Dahmer.
That was Dahmer? Yeah. Yeah. I was saying one of them did.
Yeah.
Ed Gein made the lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, the Texas
There we go.
Chainsaw guy.
The chairs and belts.
Yeah, he was the one that the Texas Chainsaw was based
The
on.
nipple lamp.
Nipple lamp?
Yeah, I think it was a lamp that
Okay.
he made out of all nipples.
Oh my
Or it
god.
was a belt.
Ew.
I don't remember.
And ew again.
Just yeah, ew.
Yep, definitely an ew for that one. That's moderately disconcerting.
Yeah. That's made me think of Jeepers Creepers when he makes the shuriken
Oh.
and it's somebody's belly button. And everything.
If you guys know whether if it was a nipple belt or a lamp, send us an email.
Those are good movies.
I don't know if I want that in my email.
Send that over to us real
I
quick.
don't know if I feel like having that in my email at all, actually.
Do you remember in the beginning when I used to ask people to email us like dick pics and stuff like that?
Yeah.
John did too.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, John did way more requests than I did. Now that I
Yep.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
People don't forget John.
It's been a while since he's been on an episode with us. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
It's been a little while. We'll get him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find him.
What was the last one?
It's been a while. It's been about a month maybe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the hell we talked about.
Because we're recording this now, but this doesn't come out for like another week.
Yeah.
So it'll be a while.
Oh, McVie Sog. That was the last one he was on.
That was a good one.
Duh.
That was a good one. Speaking of old episodes, you're going to want to listen to an old one to know a bit about this topic we got going on today. So, a while ago, I should have written down the date that episode came out, but John and Ben were on this one where we talked about the French Revolution and Napoleon. Nice. So we recorded. It's one of our older episodes. Go back and check it out. It does actually cover essentially the premise of what this world is that the gentleman we were discussing today lived in. And also one of my favorite stories. If you couldn't tell by the last time I did a revenge episode, when we covered, what was her name? It was
Marie Antoinette.
No, actually, it was not Marie Antoinette and her headlessness. I mean, that was covered in that episode,
It
though.
was.
But the episode of revenge, or the topic of revenge, I love revenge stories. I will always be a fan of revenge stories. And I talked about Olga of Kiev,
Oh, okay.
the woman who murdered, her husband was murdered, and she murdered a lot of people. And then became a saint because Catholicism. Anyways, this is going to be in that same vein. So if you like a good story of revenge, you're in for a treat. Funny thing about this episode, before we actually decided to cover it, we were sitting downstairs at my house, we're talking about it, and Ben brought up like, "Oh yeah, this is actually are you sure you're not talking about the Count of Monte Cristo?" I'm like, I don't think so. Turns out this dude was the inspiration for the Count of Monte Cristo. So if you ever read the book or watched the movie when you were a kid, this story is going to sound real familiar. Turns out it was true. I had no idea.
Yep.
I also don't remember Count of Monte Cristo that well, so I'm glad to have you here to help fill in some blanks.
That was a long movie too. That was back in the day when they didn't really make a lot of 3-hour movies.
Yeah.
Like it was like Titanic, Godfather, stuff like that. But like
started on Titanic.
They didn't really make a
Still
lot
watched
of,
it.
it wasn't average to have a 3-hour movie.
No, yeah,
close
yeah.
to that. It Count of Monte Cristo was a long fucking movie.
I remember, I shouldn't even think about the Titanic. I remember it came in like a 2 VHS set.
Yeah, the box set.
I've still never watched the damn thing.
Wasn't worth what it was made out of.
Yeah, I'm good.
Fucking movie.
I feel like we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, like how I've just never seen it.
I brought it up before. I fucking hate that movie.
Fair enough. We're not talking about that movie today. We're
How
talking
do you
about Count of
build
Monte Cristo.
suspense on a shipwreck you know is fucking coming?
Yeah, it's like watching Passion of the Christ. Really know the ending.
Yeah.
So
telling your grandkids how you got railed in a Model T in steerage.
I used to have a little bit of fun in my day.
Have you ever swung around in circles in front of poor people? That fucking movie.
So we're talking about a movie you don't hate today. Jeez. All right, so today we're going to talk about the true story behind the County of Monte Cristo. Takes place in France. Surprise, surprise. The dude in question, what's his name? His first name was Francois. Is his actual first name, I believe?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he goes by Pierre.
Oh, okay.
Which is hilariously French still.
I did not come across that.
Yeah, Francois, I believe, I didn't write it down. That's my fault. But yeah, so our boy Pierre was a shoemaker in Nimes, France. So, shoemaker, he had a trade, but it was a very modest trade. It's a modest life he had, but he was doing all right, He was 1807. Our boy Pierre was engaged to be married to Marguerite. Because again, we're just the most French names we could have possibly had in this the entire time.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, this is the story of revenge. So we're going to get to that here in a second. So again, modest living this guy had. Shoemaker, not bad, engaged to be married. So he was actually doing pretty good. Like got a wife, got a woman that loves me, got a stable career. Things are going okay.
And she was pretty wealthy, too.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get to that. And then he found out later on that she was wealthy. He didn't know it at first. He had no idea that she was wealthy at first. It was like a surprise for him. He was like, yeah, I love you and you're rich? Fuck yeah.
That just tells me all French people, regardless of social standing, are filthy.
That's
if you can't tell a rich one from a poor one.
Well, I mean, he had a trade, so he wasn't necessarily poor.
No, I meant her.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So they're all filthy people.
Just
Blanket statement.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Fair enough.
Hair everywhere.
So
the French will surrender to dirt. Proceed.
Yep. Anywho, so Pierre had a couple friends. He had 3 friends, well, 4 technically, but 3 friends. They told like, hey guys, guess what? I'm marrying this woman. She's rich as fuck. I got to come up. And, so normally your friend should be excited for this. Like, should be happy for you to get a come up. Like,
right,
oh man,
my motherfucking boy. Goddamn,
right, like it should be great. Like should be celebrated.
But they're not normal friends. They're French friends.
Right.
I would say I'm done, but I'm not.
I know that you are not. So he had, he had 3 friends, technically 4, because there is a 4th person to the story. They were, and I'm going to butcher these names, but I'm not sorry. So it's Lupien, Solari, and Schobart.
Sherbert.
Sure.
I was gonna say, I think Schaubart.
Sure.
Chabert.
I think
Chabert.
It is Chabert.
There you go.
Rainbow Shabbat. I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna be productive
You will
today.
say my name with respect.
Put some respect on it.
So his friends, again, instead of being happy for him, they were jealous of this man's success. His come up, they were mad. They were jealous. They weren't having it. So now I should have mentioned this before. This is my bad. I'm telling a story a little bit out of order. 1807. We're talking about French Revolutionary era. This is Napoleon's France. France and England at the time were at war.
Yeah.
So
this is after our revolution, and France bankrupted itself.
Right.
Aiding us against the British.
Right.
Against the English. However you want to look at it.
Yeah, there was a British Empire at the time.
Yeah, and then allowing the revolution to essentially take hold and Napoleonic things to happen.
Yeah, again, we did a whole episode about this before, so go back and listen to that if you want the full story of it. But there was a lot of irony surrounding this French Revolution because they helped fund and helped militarily aid America's revolution. Right after that, the French had a revolution. It's like, wait a minute. We the people paid for another country to get rid of a monarchy, and we're in a monarchy. Interesting.
How things don't change.
Like, wait a minute.
This is impossible.
This is Ukraine. I mean France.
So they chopped off their heads, whole thing. Revolution starts, but the problem is, again, coming from a monarchy to a not monarchy while you're surrounded by monarchies, not wanting their real revolution to spread to their territory, created a lot of wars, blah, 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 blah. Napoleon distinguished himself as a military leader, blah, 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 blah. Took over the country, became a dictator, blah, 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 blah. Here we are. Again, listen to the other episode. You'll get the details. So this is a France that's not only paranoid for against his own people, also still at war with England. So his friends like, man, fuck this dude, fuck his happiness. We're gonna snitch on him that he's a French or English spy. So without any evidence except for his 3 friends snitching on him, without any prompting for this, the police arrested him, threw him in jail. There was no trial, threw him in jail. Straight to jail.
Petty shit.
Straight to jail.
They're just sitting in a circle, smoking cigarettes with each other, talking shit about their boy.
Yep.
This bullshit love.
Straight to jail.
I like two things. Two things. I like that France had its own McCarthy era.
Yeah, they did.
And then secondly, in French prisons in this time, do you think shivs were made out of bread?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was taking a drink, and
they bake bread 4 times over, just fucking, and they glaze it. Like, just fucking,
obviously. So,
shank.
So our boy Pierre is now in prison, and has no idea why. So he's in prison. No idea why he's there.
Yeah. The story I got, I just remembered this. The story I got was that he got bagged, essentially, and then just taken away.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Not like a normal arrest like we think of. Just
there was no trial.
Yeah, well, beyond that, but just plucked off the street.
Oh yeah,
and from the get go.
I think he was in bed because it was also to add insult to injury.
Oh,
it was the night before his wedding.
I was gonna say, like, was he just walking down the street? They're like, "Are you Pierre?"
Like, how many Pierres
can there be?
I'm Pierre.
Just beat the fuck out of him and take him away. Like,
I'm Pierre Smith. Now, do you think their nightsticks are baguettes?
back to the bread. Going back to the bread. The story that I read was that he was in bed. He was at home.
I did not get that part.
So he was at home when it happened. But either way, it was the night before his wedding. That's right. So again,
I guess I was more saying like, hey, this guy was abducted more than he was arrested.
He was definitely abducted. No matter what, he was abducted.
He goes to bed. He's like, tomorrow everything will be okay. The beginning of my new life. I'll never have to worry again.
He had worries.
So yeah.
I've been shanked.
So while he's in prison, he actually does find essentially a tool to use to dig a hole through his wall into the next cell. So he pretty much makes a hole in a wall, not a glory one, just a hole in the wall to the cell next to him, finds a priest. So in this prison, there was an Italian priest named Father Torri. So Father Torri was in prison for, I don't actually know why he was in jail.
Damn it. I watched Why this afternoon and it escapes me at the moment.
Oh,
It was something equally as dumb.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Like, why was an Italian priest in jail? Anyways.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So Father Tori is in jail with them. They become friends. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. So might as well talk to this dude, you know? So Father Tori, they become friends. He's like, hey, Pierre, we're cool now. Here is a map to my fortune. So Father Tori was what had money. So he had a treasure hidden somewhere in Italy for when he got out of jail. He didn't make it. So he ends up dying of being old and being in prison because prison was awful. And
especially if you're Italian in French prisons.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both just had a bad time.
Well, they can't handle the cuisine. It's a shift, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, not enough pasta, too much bread.
Yeah, too much frog.
Yeah, from what I remember from the movie of the Count of Monte Cristo, it was like real shitty, the conditions of their fucking prison.
Oh, very much so. That part is very true for the story, too, because by the time Pierre got out of jail, he was unrecognizable. He was in his 30s, but like he was in his 50s.
Oh, boy.
So
He's seen some shit.
He definitely did. So the thing is, he was in jail for 7 years at this point. And Napoleon was exiled the first time of his exiles. So everybody that was in prison was released. That was in prison during that era. So Pierre, with the knowledge of where this fortune lies of Father Tori, goes, finds it, and becomes rich. So that's pretty tight. Okay, cool. Like, man, he got a bad lot in life. But, you know, he's in his like 30s. He's had a lot of time. You know, he has money now. It's fine. But no, not for Pierre. Pierre was not having it. Pierre
is no in French. What's their no?
It's no.
It's no. Okay.
Yeah, no was pretty much no in pretty much in almost every language.
Okay. No.
No.
There we go.
Yeah, it says no, but it has a little thing above the O.
Well, of course it does. That's oh yeah, that's a symbol for their wave. The French wave.
So the
That
problem,
means retreat.
That's
Obviously.
that's their handkerchief.
a white one,
No more. Play nights. Car. Game on.
right?
Just kidding. April Fools.
It's June. Die, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. All right. So he gets this money, gets out of jail. As I mentioned before, like you said, Deej, in the movie they had it, prison was an awful place to be. That was true. So he aged. He was in his 30s when he got out. He looked like he was in his 60s. So his hair had changed colors. He couldn't walk right. His back was fucked up. He had like I'm pretty sure he had a limp.
So from what I remember learning about the prisons, this just dawned on me. From what I remember learning about the prisons, I would liken them to the way 5 Points in Gangs of New York was depicted in the movie.
Oh.
The living quarters in those apartments underground and whatnot. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
I always think of Robin Hood Men in Tights. When they
We need great strength of feet.
That's what I always think of. But they got the wooden shackles on their ankles.
Oh.
You know? Yeah.
Like, you're not the proper attire. He gives him a fucking beard. I watched that movie not long ago, so it's very fresh in my memory.
Oh God. What was the guard saying? Like when he went down there and everybody was gone, he's like, "Oh, I'm in deep shit. I'm in really deep shit."
Loyalty is highly rewarded. However,
It's such a good movie.
Such a good movie. So yeah, Pierre now has money, goes back to France. So I mentioned earlier there was a fourth friend. He knew the plot, but did not tell on him. He didn't snitch on him. We didn't lie because Pierre was never a spy, so we didn't lie.
But he didn't give Pierre a warning.
Yeah, he also didn't warn him.
He didn't give him a heads up.
Yeah, so he's just like he's still a dick.
Yeah.
So Alute is this dude's name. So he finds Alute. Now, like I said, like he's aged so rapidly in only 7 years, nobody recognized him. So he went back, changed his name, finds Alute. He's like, "Hey, dude, what happened to this guy named Pierre? Like, I heard
He just shows up. He's like, "What the hell, bro? the hell is that?"
We're gonna get there.
He was. I just remembered his girlfriend or fiance, or whatever. She looked for him, but
For 2 years.
But he wasn't jailed under his actual name. That's,
Right.
That's the other thing. We didn't mention that.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. So she did look for him for 2 years.
Yeah.
Didn't it happen in the County Monte Cristo as well?
Dude, it's been so
They had
long.
like buried him in like France somewhere, so he was just impossible to find.
That's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
kind of, you know, I'm just realizing it kind of reminds me of Mask of Zorro now too. The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit going on here.
Indeed. So, yeah, so because it's underneath a different name, like I said, he was because he was prison underneath a different name. His fiance tried to find him. So it took 2 years, couldn't find the dude, and moved on. I'm gonna get to that too.
She looked. That's cool though.
Yeah, she looked for 2 years. Yeah, that's pretty.
She's up there with the wife from Castaway.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. So, Alute, he finds his, the dude who knew him, but couldn't recognize him. Like I said, so he pays him a diamond. He's like, "Hey, dude, here's a diamond. I need to know everything you know about what happened to this dude named Pierre. Spill it." So he's like, "Oh, yeah, that dude."
Oh, that thing.
That
oh,
fucking
yeah.
guy.
I remember now.
That Pierre. I thought you said it with one R.
yeah.
Right.
That whole
My
thing.
bad.
I thought,
Correct.
Yeah.
Why did you say so?
Alute fills him in. Like, "Hey, dude, like, here's what happened to this dude, Pierre." Goes into a full story, which I'm going to get into now. So, Lupion, the guy who came up with a plot and a plan to lie about his friend and put him in jail. Well, this dickhead married his fiance, married Pierre's fiance. So your best friend not only puts you in jail under false pretenses, fucking suck your wife.
He fucking Pepe Le Pew'd this bitch. He said, "Forget about Pierre. He is no more.
He is no more.
All the way,
I will continue his love and his honor
all the way down to the stink.
with my peace."
He married Marguerite, took the dowry from the marriage, and opened his own cafe in France. Right, so he's doing pretty good. His other friends are still friends with this dude, so they're all around. You know, they're not hard to find. So our friend Pierre gets a job at said cafe, starts seeing his friends like, "Wow, man, there's these motherfuckers. There they are."
Hell yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, after he found out where that you know his friends had fucked him over, he took 10 years plotting revenge.
Ooh.
10 years of hate.
Did he work at the cafe for 10 years? Like,
I don't think he did.
He worked as a waiter.
Yeah, at the cafe, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he worked there for 10 years though.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I know he was a waiter.
wow.
Yeah, but he started stacking these bodies pretty quickly though. So
I could see, because if you're rich as fuck, like, I wouldn't mind doing that. If it was like 8 hours a day, I'm going to go be a waiter, but like,
Yeah.
I already have the means to do what I have to do.
whatever, yeah.
I'm just building up, you know.
Yeah, he was getting some evidence is what he was doing.
Oh shit! There's a 2024 Count of Monte Cristo movie.
Is there?
Yeah.
Because in the County Monte Cristo, when he shows back up, he shows back as a wealthy person, as a different count, because he still wants to marry, but he has to be a count in order to do that. So he basically shows up presents himself as this rich person. So that's a big difference, I think, from what it appears. At least from what I
he had
remember.
his fortune.
Yeah.
He definitely had his fortune, but he didn't use it. Like that.
I know. I just got kind of curious about it. I wonder which movies are available.
Okay.
And I ran pop down here to see what's available to watch.
Because it was like late 90s probably that.
Well, there's
maybe early 2000s.
Well, there's one from the 30s. There's one from the 70s.
70s is the one I'm familiar with.
That's the one I know of because of V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
There's the 70s
There's
one.
one with where Anthony Hopkins plays the prisoner that teaches him how to sword fight.
That's Mask of Zorro.
Yep.
Well, maybe it's somebody that looks like Anthony Hopkins.
See my point?
Now I'm confused. But it's definitely County Monte Cristo, but it's an actor that's got to look like Anthony Hopkins.
I mean, he could have very well easily been in a
probably
Count of
could have
Monte
been in
Cristo
both.
movie.
I
But
mean, honestly.
that's kind of my point, though. It's like Mask of Zorro. I've just realized it was Count of Monte Cristo,
Anthony
but in
Hopkins
Spanish.
is just
Yes.
Different subtitles.
yeah.
See.
No.
Yeah, I can't. This is no is still no.
That's like Hector. He plays Hector in like at least 14 different movies. There's like a list.
The Hectorverse.
Yeah. I really hope our listeners would know what we're referring to.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the YouTube channel, The Old Barrio? No?
No.
Oh, you need to check that out. That's fun.
I've never seen that.
It's a guy that just reviews hood movies
Oh, that's fantastic.
and everything. And
That's amazing.
I found him because my buddy at work, my buddy Juan, he had me watch Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh,
And
that's
I had never seen it. So
That's
he,
a good
Locals
one.
for life.
yeah, so he had me watch
yeah.
it and everything. It was okay, cool. You know, it was a product of its time, but it was fun to watch.
Sure.
And everything. But because I watched it on YouTube, it affected my algorithm. And also,
there you go.
I found this review channel at the Old Barrio, and there was that movie being reviewed. I've watched a bunch of his
Yeah.
videos since.
Nice.
American Me is my favorite. Like,
I had watched that one. That was actually part of our conversation. Was I had seen that. I never saw Blood In, Blood Out. But I told him he has to watch American History X or Shot Caller for me now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. So back to this revenge story here. Fair enough.
I don't know what the clap means, but I'm rolling with it.
So the first one to go down. Dude. So those were which when we actually do get video set up, we needed that for that. All right, so we start off with Sherbert. So this dude, Chaubert, was killed first. Now there's speculation whether or not Pierre did it himself or if he paid somebody else to do it. Regardless, the story goes is that he was stabbed in the heart with a knife. Engraved on the handle of the knife was the number one. Indeed. Starts the murdering.
that's what I'm talking
Starts the
about.
murdering.
The little bit of pettiness, the little bit of
Oh, dude, the ending of this is hella petty.
yeah.
It made me fucking laugh because I am petty. It can't be helped. Anyways, Solari, the next to go, was poisoned and he died. Right. It took him a day to die, though. Unfortunately, he didn't die. He
that
didn't
sucks.
die immediately. He died. He suffered.
He was given wine less than 5 years old,
Indeed.
which, as we know, kills Frenchmen.
Obviously. So they have kryptonite.
You have this quiche? That's from Robin Williams.
He when he died, allegedly at the funeral, there was a note stuck to his body with the number 2 on it. Right.
life is bleak.
Indeed.
Life is shit.
Like the wine.
That would have been funnier if he left little quips like that.
Little French fortune cookies.
Oh, jeez.
Love is pain.
Oh, my God. That would be so depressing. Oh, my God. Dude, French
It's a piece of bread you open and then the fortune's inside. It's just bad luck.
They would all be so fucking depressing.
The most depressing poetry like
It would
ever.
be.
So depressing.
Or it would just be little Frenchisms, like you open it and it just says mimes.
Oh, geez.
Striped shirts.
It just says a sad word.
Oh.
It'll just say weep.
This one says yellow headlights.
Jeez. Oh, which was a thing.
It still is, I think.
God.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
I think, well, maybe not nowadays, but how
I know it was a thing at one
technology has
point.
changed. But
You
yeah,
guys heard it here first. We dubbed the idea for the French cookie. That you bust
The
open.
French fortune
The
cookie.
French
That's
fortune
just
cookie. You bust
depressing.
it open, it gives you some sad fucking.
Like, so depressing. Like, I just imagine everything in black and white when you open it. Like,
The cookie just crumbles.
You open it, it just says a beret, too small.
It just has sad words like wither. or
Oh, it's,
something like
right.
that.
it's literally just a drawing of that sad clown. I think it's more of an Italian thing, but still.
it's fine.
It's just-
Yeah.
It's a balloon with 2 holes in it.
Oh, man. All right. So, Lupion, the ringleader, the person who came up with all this shit, the dude who married Pierre's sweetheart, the revenge against him had to be a little different, had to be more personal, if you will.
And this is number 3, right?
This is number 3 of the friends. So Lupion again, he owned the cafe. He married Pierre's wife. Lupion also had 2 kids prior to marrying Marguerite. So his kids were also getting old. They were of marrying age. I say that because of what happens to his family. So the daughter, Lupian's daughter, was engaged to be married to a nobleman. So she was marrying into a noble family as well. She was about to marry into riches, right? Wrong. So our boy Pierre, because Pierre has money, Pierre hired a criminal to pretend to be a nobleman, financed him to appear to be a nobleman, only for on the day of their wedding. So they got married. After they said, I do, they arrested him for being a criminal. So not only was her love and marriage fake, her name was destroyed because she's married to a criminal who's now in jail.
Oh shit. Damn.
And the French are all about image, as you can tell by their funny clothes.
Yeah, that's true. And it completely destroyed her name. The son gets, he was framed, but he was arrested for robbing a jewelry store. So he had pretty much knocked out. Evidence was planted on him. The police were called. He was arrested with overwhelming evidence supporting the fact that he was a robber. That was a thief. So he goes to jail. The sentence was 20 years.
Oh God.
The thing about it though that makes it worse was, and I've only read this one place, I don't know if it's true or not, was that an anonymous source was trying to bribe the police for the death penalty.
God damn. They fucking hang people like in the middle of the fucking city back then.
Well, this was
the French
that was
are
revolutionary,
bloodthirsty.
The revolutionary France. This was the guillotine era.
There's no cable TV.
Yep.
Well, we mentioned it in that episode. I brought it up. The last time the French used a guillotine was 1975.
Right.
That's what we were talking about, the Texas thing. I was like, I bet you it's like going to like a monster truck show. It's just like this 100% insane
it was
fucking thing.
I forget. I said it in the other episode, but at some point, I forget how long it had been going, but at some point, the French finally said no, and
No.
made the guillotine executions a private matter,
right?
Because they drew too large of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The French are bloodthirsty.
Oh yeah,
fuck them, but they are bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
So now, okay. So daughter, husband was fake. Son in jail. But it gets worse. So I think it was the night of the daughter's fake wedding. His cafe burst to the ground.
Oh yeah.
His wife, Marguerite, was so distraught by all these bad things happening. Like all of his friends died. Restaurant gone. Kids fucked up. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. Yeah, daughter died.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, the shock of it was so much. The shock of everything that happened to her was so much that she died.
Jesus.
This
Christ.
is when Marge Simpson started losing her hair and got that Sherry Bobbins character on the show.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so the daughter was also dead. I forgot about that part. My bad. So
what did she die of?
She essentially died of. She went the Padme route and died of a broken heart.
Oh,
God.
That's what I was gonna say. Like she died of like being too French. Like just experiencing too much.
I shall accept the darkness.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sink me into the
Like,
deep.
is this how it's gonna be always? What the fuck? Like as soon as I got married, this shit went down.
Everything went to shit for her, so she died. So all of these things happening in quick succession, essentially, Marguerite also died. So this man, Lupian, lost his, one kid's in jail, one kid's dead, wife is now dead, restaurant's gone. And then comes Pierre. And here comes Pierre out of the darkness.
Smoking a cigarette, of course.
Obviously. It can't be French if it doesn't smoke a cigarette.
No, absolutely not.
like honey to sheet.
Like a cat to caviar, you have fallen into mine trap. Damn it, I said mine. I went German.
It
Fuck.
happens.
They're all cousins.
Oh, man. So, Lupian, obviously distressed. His whole life was destroyed. But his loyal restaurant employee was like, hey, buddy, hug me.
What was his fake name? Did we know his?
I
fake
actually
name?
don't know. I couldn't find it.
Oh, man.
Couldn't find it. So, but he was like, Lupian, guess what? Remember me? I am Pierre.
do the.
No, this is a pussy boy.
Exactly. Oh man. So yeah, he then is stabbed by Pierre. So Pierre stabs him and kills him with a knife engraved with the number 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the fourth guy,
The fourth guy, he was dick, but he wasn't. He didn't, snitch on him.
What do you think his stabbing motion was like?
I don't know.
I see palm
On
up.
guard.
Yeah, like a one-man fencing competition.
I feel like
what I'm
it's like a
envisioning.
backhanded slap with the glove, and then he gets distracted and stabs the guy in the heart. I don't think it's followed like that.
Have at you. I demand satisfaction.
And now I will stab you in the heart.
So, Lupian's dead. Lute, the guy that I said was the fourth friend. I mean, he was around he knew about all this shit, but he wasn't really a part of it. Lute finds out about this whole thing. So Lute's he finds out what was going on. He finds out who Pierre was, who this guy was pretending who he was, and in truth. So he kidnaps him. So Lute, still a dickhead, kidnaps our boy Pierre. So Pierre's revenge is now complete. But now he gets kidnapped by Lute. Lute's like, hey man, I know who you are. I know what you've done. If you want me to not tell anybody, I want money. So he tried to extort him. Pierre was like, dude, I've completed my revenge. I literally spent the last 17 years by this point trying to get I was in jail. I got my revenge. I'm good. There's nothing you can do to me that's gonna make me give you anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to me that prison did not already do.
I mean, to be honest with you, no.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Pierre was ready to die.
Yeah, Pierre's like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. What you gonna do? I don't care, dude. So because of the I don't give a fuckness of this entire situation, Lute gets frustrated and beats his ass. So Lute beats the shit out of our boy Pierre, leaves him pretty much for dead. And escapes to, did he go to England? I think he escaped to England essentially. Or Germany. I think England though. England sounds right. So he leaves. Lute is now out of the picture. Our boy Pierre is left pretty much to starve to death at this point. Because he was kidnapped again, tied up and shit, and beaten. So he was beaten, brutally beaten, and left for dead. The police do find him, and as he laid there dying, beaten and starved after days of not eating, he tells the police his entire story, and then dies. The story was further corroborated because Lute went to police or the newspaper or something like that, and told them the story too. So the story was corroborated by two different sides. So I think, if I remember serves, the reason why this became a book was because the police had a record of it, a record of this entire story in their archives. Somebody found it, wrote a book.
I think there was a middle person.
There might have been.
Between the event and then Alexander Dumas. I forget.
Yeah.
But I feel like the story was somehow handed to him. I don't remember how. I didn't think to write it down.
Yeah, I didn't write it down either, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident though, if my memory serves, that this was in the archives of the police.
You're probably right. You're
And
probably
then
right.
somebody got the archive and they probably gave
Yeah,
it.
It was
I
like
think
it was like being brought to his attention.
Yeah, I think it was
Right.
like a reporter or something like that, like somebody who happened to stumble across the story, so he kept tabs on it.
Yeah, so that's a story of revenge. Our friend here, Pierre.
Served cold like our fish.
I enjoy. I like a good revenge story. I really do, because his friends were dicks.
Taking those 10 years working the cafe to fucking
Just grinding away at minimum wage just to make sure his anger stayed in check.
Jesus Christ, that's amazing. I love that so much.
That takes dedication.
It really. I love the time he took to do all this and how he ruined Lupin's entire life before he killed him. Like he took away everything this man had before he killed him.
I wonder if he had a mustache.
I imagine they all did.
Because I feel like he was a twirler.
I feel like they all did in various forms.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Cuts the ends of his mustache before he stabs him.
Oh, jeez. Goes full Hitler mustache. We almost made it a whole movie without mentioning Hitler and or World War II.
Damn it.
Brandon should be here for this.
Yeah.
Indeed. Did you have anything you wanted to add to this? Or
well, yeah, I could just go on my notes here of short list of notes.
Yeah, because I don't remember the Count of Monte Cristo that detailed.
I didn't remember it all that well. It wasn't until reading. Where I remember some of this. I had to read it. It wasn't in high school. For a high school, I probably remember it a little bit better. I think we read it in middle school.
I'm pretty confident we had to read this in middle school.
Yeah,
which is where I remember it from. At least.
And I mean, yeah, clearly I remembered it enough when we first started talking about it. And I was like, is this the Count of Monte Cristo? Because I think it's the Count of Monte Cristo. And maybe the man in an iron mask. But yeah, so the similarities between Pierre Picard and the Count of Monte Cristo, more or less what was borrowed for the book, at least from what I found. One, betrayal by close friends. Pierre Picard's downfall begins when three friends, out of jealousy, falsely accuse him of being an English spy. Their betrayal lands him in prison and ultimately sets him on a path of revenge. Count of Monte Cristo, similar. Edmond Dantes is betrayed by his close friends, Danglars, Fernand, and Cataraus, who conspired to have him falsely accused of Bonapartist sympathies.
Bonapartist sympathies.
Their envy and personal gain. Imagine that on like the docket, the Bonapartist party. Anyway,
yeah.
Their envy and personal gain led to Dante's wrongful imprisonment. Then you have false imprisonment and isolation. Picard's spends 7 years in prison, isolated and embittered by the unjust betrayal.
Embittered is such a weak way to say that.
Yeah, but it's a good word.
Like, it's a good word.
It's a good word.
But, like, embittered would not contain the amount of rage I would have.
No.
At my friends for that.
The unjust betrayal that robbed him of his freedom and his future with his fiancée, Count of Monte Cristo. Dante spends 14 years in the Chateau... cut off from the outside world.
Chateau blah blah.
Chateau, it's not a real language. From the outside world and his beloved Mercedes.
That's right. Her name was Mercedes.
Yeah, like I said, there were certain parts. Like I didn't remember all of it, but there were certain parts when I was going over and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember that. Little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
His imprisonment fuels his desire for revenge and transforms his character from a hopeful sailor, which I forgot about that part. He was a sailor, to a hardened man bent on justice. Mysterious benefactor. Picard met his fellow prisoner, who was an Italian cleric, who entrusts him with knowledge of a hidden treasure in Milan. The encounter changes the course of Picard's life after his release. In prison, Count of Monte Cristo. In prison, Dantes meets, I don't remember this name at all, Abbe Faria? Abbe Faria? Whatever, these aren't real people. Not because they're characters, because they're French.
There you go. I was waiting for that.
A brilliant but eccentric priest who becomes his mentor and friend. Faria educates Dantes. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say Dantes or Dante, but I'm going to keep saying Dantes. And eventually reveals the existence of a massive treasure on the island of Monte Cristo, giving Dantes the means to seek revenge upon his release.
Okay.
Hidden treasure to fund revenge. Picard, after finding his hidden fortune, Picard is able to pursue his former friends and ruin their lives. And then Dante's that's one for one. Methodical revenge. Picard spends years orchestrating the downfall of his betrayers, leading to mysterious deaths and personal tragedies among them. Count of Monte Cristo, Dante takes a similarly systematic approach, studying each of his enemies and finding their deepest vulnerabilities. Slowly manipulates events to ensure their downfalls are thorough and, in his view, just. And then transformation and identity change. Picard emerges from prison a changed man, driven solely by vengeance, abandoning his old life and assuming his new identities to carry out his plans.
It's too bad nobody taught him how to fucking fight in prison. His goddamn ass beat. That's how you know he had a bad time in prison. He still got his ass beat.
Yeah, right.
When he got out,
He had no street cred when he got out.
No, absolutely. He's smart. Cool.
Right. That's neat.
Yeah, read this book after you get done sucking my balls,
Nerd.
pie quad.
So, Count of Monte Cristo, Dantes reinvents himself as the Count of Monte Cristo, a serious and powerful figure whose wealth and intelligence makes him nearly unrecognizable to his former friends and enemies. This new identity enables him to interact with his betrayers without them realizing his true motives.
Dante was a fucking sword fighter too.
Yeah. You know what I'm just realizing now? Also, just going over this list, this is a Great Gatsby also.
Dude. Wow.
Like,
I mean, wow. I guess you got me.
I'm just realizing it now. Like this is Picard. I keep wanting to say Picard. Fucking Star Trek.
I get it.
I've been calling him pie quad. I like that.
That's why I just said Pierre, because I couldn't mispronounce that.
Yeah, right.
You get no respect. In your name.
Yeah, Pierre. As much as he's the Count of Monte Cristo, he's Zorro, the Great Gatsby.
Yep.
I'm sure there's 2 or 3 more that we could think of if we really tried.
Yeah, probably. It's funny because like you don't think I can guarantee he had after his revenge was over with. Obviously, he didn't give a fuck what happened to him. But I like just imagine I told him like, dude, you know you're gonna be famous in the future, right? Like your pettiness, your thirst for revenge will carry on through generations.
I keep picturing
You're gonna
it
be
now.
all blueprint.
Like Alud finds Pequod. And he's like, telling him like, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking snitch on you." And Pequod like pulls a knife on him. He's like, "I will kill you like I killed the rest." And Alud was just like, and just beat the fuck out of him. Like, didn't even like react to it.
It's the French version of Indiana Jones with the sword.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the sword and the gun.
yeah. He
Dude,
pulls that
I'm
shit
glad
out. He's
you
like,
brought
"What the
that up
fuck?"
actually. So my favorite professor in college, Dr. Briggs, he was a history professor. I've been thankful to have good history professors in my life. Not the point. Anyways, so Dr. Briggs, it was like, I want to say freshman like history of the something like Western, Eastern, whatever fuck history. Freshman year level though, it was like 100 level class, and he's talking about the transition between guns, like swords and guns, like in the world, like when the world learned about gunpowder and became widespread. And he's like, yeah, so pretty much the people that had swords versus people with guns. Here's how it went. Show that clip. It's like, that's it. That's all you need to know. Well, not all, but still, like, it's like, and that's how it went, though. Like,
Pretty much.
but everywhere. It's all, like that movie scene. Reminds me of that, and it reminds me of the story behind that scene, because the dude who's in that movie is a renowned sword master. And they paid him to be a great sword fighter. Yeah. It's supposed to be a whole fight scene in the movie.
Oh shit!
It was like 3 days of work and everything for that one scene.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then like the whole thing like was ruined because wasn't it? Did he improvise it?
Oh yeah, it was 100% a joke.
Yeah, it was 100% improvised, and it made it to the movie. Like him putting on a gun and shooting him was not supposed to be in the movie.
He probably regrets going along with the jokes so much.
Yeah, right. He's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sure. Anyways, that's our story
Yeah, that was a fun one.
of
This is shit.
I thought it was a pretty good episode.
Life is shit.
Love is pain.
Right? Jeez.
They're not a real people.
Yeah, neither is Montreal.
Existence is but a veil.
And now we say,
let us know if you want to come up with merch just just depressing.
If you guys could send us your saddest like French style haikus, like that'd be cool.
Dude, yes, do that. Please do that.
well,
French haikus. How sad do you think? How sad do you think French seppuku is?
We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully, it gets pretty fucking sad. You know.
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining a mime with a katana and silent the whole time.
But like the katana's also invisible.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh yes.
Just scared the whole time.
And on that note, thank you all for making. If you made it this far in the episode, thanks for giving us a listen to. We appreciate it. Make sure you give us a like and follow on your favorite social medias and your favorite listening devices. Give us a rating too. We haven't been rated in a while on the listening devices. That helps us out too. We also have merch, so that's pretty tight. Check out our merch. Buy something.
Yeah, check out that link tree. We got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we got going on. We got stuff going on.
Got a couple things, couple two
Couple
trees. You know,
Indeed.
Yeah.
But as usual,
tray.
we appreciate your continued support. Y'all be cool.
Bye.